He's going to be smiling from ear to ear when he hears me talking about him again. Oh, my God. He's going to get home and grab some ice cream out of the fucking freezer and sit in his chair and his tighty whities on the couch.
I hope at some point you two do get a chance. But you're right.
Dude, relax, bro. Relax.
ESPN analyst Stephen A. Smith has finally addressed his highly publicized confrontation with NBA superstar LeBron James, and his comments have ignited a firestorm of reactions across the basketball world. The ongoing tension between the outspoken media personality and the Los Angeles Lakers forward has dominated sports headlines for weeks, with NBA legends and current players now weighing in on the controversy. The feud began earlier this month during a Lakers game against the New York Knicks when James approached Smith on the sidelines. According to multiple sources, James confronted Smith about the analyst's comments regarding his son, Bronny. Though brief and without physical contact, the interaction quickly went viral on social media.
Tighty Whitey's comment was funny because I don't wear tighty Whiteys. Let you figure out why that is. But moving on from that particular subject, I don't happen to consider anything that LeBron has said a laughing matter. So y'all wanted me to be serious, I'll be serious. And I know there's some people out there that's going to be like, oh, I'm milking the story for all it's worth. Well,
initially, Smith remained relatively quiet about the encounter. However, during a recent appearance on Gilbert Arenas' podcast, Smith made statements that dramatically escalated the situation. If that man would have put his hands on me, I would have immediately swung on him. Immediately, Smith said. In the same interview, Smith acknowledged he would have gotten my ass thoroughly kicked by the 6'8", 250-pound NBA star, but insisted he would have fought back regardless.
I would have gotten my ass kicked because had that man put his hands on me, I would have immediately swung on him. Immediately. That I'm not going to tolerate. But I knew he wasn't going to do something like that. There was no fear in my mind about it. It was shock. Because as I have repeatedly stated, I was not talking about his son. I was talking about him.
These comments sparked immediate backlash from across the sports world, including from two-time Super Bowl champion Kalen Saunders, the New Orleans Saints defensive tackle who won 2 championships with the Kansas City Chiefs, took to Twitter to blast Smith for his remarks. Bro, Steven, shut the expletive up, damn. Saunders tweeted, Bro, IDK, I don't know what it is with today's world with MFS that don't do anything other than talk, podcast or sports media, etc. Thinking these big bad MFS. I can do what you can do. You could never do what I do in a million years. Don't forget that. Smith quickly defended himself on social media, claiming his comments were taken out of context. Nice try, folks. On my show, I said I would have swung on at King James had he slapped me, like lots of y'all said I was scared he would have done a few weeks ago, Smith tweeted. I also said immediately after that I would have gotten my ass thoroughly kicked by the 6'8", 250-pound Goliath, but folks just left that part of my YouTube sentence out. Huh? Okay, have fun. The controversy has continued to grow, with NBA on TNT analyst Charles Barkley becoming the latest high-profile figure to address the situation. During an appearance on the Dan Patrick Show, Barkley criticized both Smith and James for their roles in the dispute. They both had an awful week, Barkley said. LeBron, he's too big to be that type of bully. And Stephen A. to bully Brian Windhorst. Brian Windhorst is a sweet person. He's just trying to do his thing. I've always liked LeBron, but him being a bully, it turned me off. Barkley was particularly critical of Smith's reaction to the confrontation. The way he reacted was so lame and weak, Barkley continued. Stephen A. is a good dude. I blame LeBron for starting the bullying. He added, LeBron is a control freak. He knows everything he's doing. He knew when he walked up to Stephen A. what he was doing. But the way Stephen A. reacted going on Gilbert's podcast talking tough, you're better than that. There's only losers in this scenario. The timing of this dispute is particularly noteworthy as it comes during a crucial stretch for James and the Lakers. Under first-year head coach J.J. Redick, Los Angeles has secured the #1, 3 seed in the Western Conference with 50 wins, their first 50-win season since their championship run in 2019-20. The addition of Luka Doncic via a mid-season trade has bolstered their championship aspirations, with the team posting an 18-10 record since his arrival. Interestingly, despite his current feud with James, Smith recently praised the Lakers' championship potential under Redick's leadership. I want to say something. I don't consider it bold at all. J.J. Redick is going to win himself a championship one day as a coach in the near future, Smith said. I think he's proven to be that exceptional and that locked in and that zeroed in. It might not be this year, but with Luka Doncic and LeBron James, I can't summarily dismiss them against anybody outside of OKC. The feud between Smith and James has deeper roots that extend beyond this recent confrontation. Earlier in March, popular streamer Kai Cenat made headlines during his appearance on Smith's ESPN show First Take, when he accused Smith of consistently criticizing James in the GOAT debate against Michael Jordan. I ain't gonna lie, Steven, when it comes to LeBron James, you start hating. That's how I feel. Cenat said during the heated exchange. I feel like you're more of an older generation type of dude. You like Michael Jordan, cool, but listen, every time there's a debate going on with Michael Jordan and LeBron James, you always got something to say about LBJ. Cenat concluded his argument with a bold statement. And I'm here to say it. LeBron is better than Jordan. I said it. This prompted a passionate response from Smith, who defended his position while acknowledging James's greatness. This latest chapter in the Smith-James saga highlights the complex relationship between media figures and the athletes they cover. Smith, known for his bombastic style and unfiltered opinions, has built his career on provocative commentary. James, meanwhile, has long been sensitive to media criticism, particularly when it involves his family. As the Lakers prepare for their playoff run, questions remain about how this feud might impact James's performance and focus. With the team positioned as legitimate contenders thanks to the James-Doncic pairing, basketball fans are watching closely to see if off-court distractions will affect their championship aspirations. James, who has remained relatively quiet throughout this controversy, is focused on adding a 5th championship to his illustrious career. At 40 years old, he continues to defy expectations, averaging impressive numbers and leading a Lakers team that has championship aspirations. For his part, Smith continues his role as one of sports media's most polarizing figures, generating ratings and reactions with every hot take. What do you think about the ongoing feud between Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James? Is Barkley right that there are only losers in this scenario? And will the controversy affect the Lakers' championship hopes as they enter the playoffs? The debate continues, fueled by some of the biggest personalities in basketball on and off the court. Share your thoughts in the comment section and subscribe to our channel for more updates.
What do you make of LeBron confronting you in the aftermath of that situation?
I thought it was weak. I thought it was some bullshit. But in the moment, I knew that I was listening to a father.
Stephen A. Smith just took his feud with LeBron James to another level, and it's more intense than anyone expected. The outspoken ESPN analyst didn't hold back on the Gilbert Arenas podcast, slamming LeBron's courtside confrontation as weak and bulls. Days after their heated exchange went viral, Smith has doubled down, adding even more fuel to the fire between him and the NBA's all-time leading scorer. This rivalry is far from over. What started as a small, tense moment at Crypto.com Arena has turned into a huge argument in the sports world. At first, Smith seemed calm when reacting to what happened, but now he's speaking out strongly against how LeBron James acted during the Lakers game against the New York Knicks last Thursday.
Before I get any further, let me just put to bed a couple of things that have been reported that are false.
I thought it was weak. I thought it was some bull, Smith declared bluntly during his podcast appearance, dramatically shifting from his more restrained initial reaction. But in the moment, I knew that I was listening to a father. This stark characterization represents a significant escalation in Smith's public stance toward the NBA legend.
I thought it was some bullshit, but in the moment, I knew that I was listening to a father. Here's what happened. I'm represented by William Morris Endeavor. The founder of William Morris Endeavor, Ari Emanuel, had courtside seats right next to the Lakers bench.
Smith provided details about the unexpected confrontation, explaining how the situation unfolded. Smith said, "Apparently LeBron had walked out at the timeout, and I turn around and he's right here in my face. He said, 'Yo, you gotta stop talking about my son. You gotta stop fucking with my son. That's my son. That's my son.'" The timing of Smith's intensified criticism comes after additional footage emerged showing James discussing the incident with ESPN analyst Richard Jefferson. In this clip, James can be heard saying, "That's the only thing I'm tripping. I don't give a fuck." Once he talks about, "I'm pleading to you as a father. I can't." This behind-the-scenes conversation appears to have further inflamed Smith, who admitted being really putzing hard after seeing James's exchange with his colleague.
After the situation. So what we want to do is we want to play the footage of that. It's not long, maybe, I don't know, 20 seconds or so, and then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a look at this footage here.
Smith forcefully refuted James's characterization of his comments, insisting they were directed at the Lakers star himself rather than his son Bronny, who is currently in his rookie NBA season. "It wasn't about your son. I know he's number 55. I know he got work to do. I believe that he's got the potential, and by the way, I'm rooting for him. I ain't rooting against nobody, but I was talking about your You did this," Smith exclaimed with increasing intensity.
I know he got work to do. Woo. I believe that he got potential. Yeah. I believe that he got the potential to go pro. I truly believe that. It's going to be tough, but I think he can pull it off. And by the way, I'm rooting for him. I ain't rooting against nobody.
The First Take host specifically criticized James's approach to the confrontation, suggesting the basketball icon should have handled the situation privately. Rather than come up to me at courtside, all you had to do was say, "Yo, I need to see you after the game." Smith stated forcefully, "You didn't do that, Cisniere. You said you're fucking with my son." "No, I wasn't. I was talking about you." Smith's frustration extended beyond this specific incident to encompass what he perceives as special treatment afforded to James throughout his career. All of us as reporters, as a league, as an NBA franchise, had to sit back and be quiet and capitulate to your size. You did that, Smith declared, suggesting a broader pattern of preferential treatment that has long frustrated members of the sports media.
You the one that had us as reporters, as a league, as an NBA franchise. All of us gotta sit back and be quiet and capitulate to your shit.
Come on now.
You did that.
The confrontation reportedly centered on Smith's previous comments about LeBron's handling of his son Bronny's entry into the NBA. Smith had previously suggested that LeBron's very public desire to play alongside his son had inadvertently placed excessive pressure and scrutiny on the rookie. This perspective clearly struck a nerve with James, leading to the courtside confrontation that caught both basketball fans and media personalities by surprise. Despite Smith's increasingly harsh assessment of the situation, LeBron's agent, Rich Paul, has attempted to downplay the significance of the clash. During an appearance on the Pat McAfee show, Paul stated, "I didn't think it was much, but as adults, you try to handle things the best way possible, so I was glad they were able to move on." He acknowledged the challenge sports personalities face with media criticism, noting that as much as they critique, sometimes it can be felt as if it's a little bit more than that. Let's see what Rich Paul said.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was much, but I think that, as adults, you try to handle things the best way possible. And so I was glad they were able to move on. But, it's tough. Anytime you have media platforms, and there's so many today, and these guys.
Paul insisted that both parties have moved on from what he characterized as merely a dust-up. However, Smith's latest comments suggest the ESPN commentator has not only not moved past the incident, but has become increasingly indignant about it upon further reflection. The very public nature of this feud highlights the unique dynamics between modern sports media personalities and the athletes they cover. Smith, known for his bold and often controversial opinions, finds himself directly confronted by one of sports' biggest stars in a way that blurs traditional boundaries between media and subject. The resulting tension provides a rare glimpse into the genuine emotions that can simmer beneath the surface of professional relationships in the sports world. This escalating conflict comes at a particularly sensitive time for James, who is not only navigating the Lakers' push toward the playoffs, but also dealing with the added complexity of his son's rookie season in the NBA. The unprecedented father-son dynamic has created unique challenges both on and off the court for the James family. For Smith, this confrontation represents the latest in a career filled with high-profile disputes with major sports figures. His willingness to directly challenge James, arguably the most powerful player in NBA history, reinforces his reputation for fearless commentary regardless of potential consequences to relationships with the athletes he covers. As video of both the original confrontation and Smith's subsequent comments continues to circulate widely across social media platforms, basketball fans find themselves witnessing an extraordinary clash between two of the most recognizable figures in sports. The raw emotion displayed by both men reveals the personal stakes involved when media criticism intersects with family matters for professional athletes. This is happening right when the Lakers are trying hard to make the playoffs, which could be a big distraction for them. LeBron James is usually very good at staying focused, even when there's drama in the media. But now, people are wondering if this personal issue will affect how he plays in these important games. The conflict also raises broader questions about the boundaries between sports journalism and personal criticism, particularly when family members become part of the narrative. Smith has defended his right to comment on James's decision to publicly campaign for his son to join him in the NBA, arguing that once such family matters enter the public domain, they become fair game for analysis and critique. As this drama unfolds, fans see more than just basketball. They witness the clash between media scrutiny and personal boundaries in a world of constant coverage and social media. Whether this confrontation marks a permanent fracture in the relationship between Smith and James remains to be seen. What's clear is that Smith, far from backing down, has chosen to escalate his criticism of James's approach to the situation, potentially setting the stage for continued tension between these prominent sports personalities.